The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. As we start off yet another fun buying season, we're up 10 points in the S&P cash. We're off about 7 points of the day high. Volume is tepid, light, and variable. Not of the highest order. It is light. It is a non-volume. 2.2 billion shares on the New York Consolidated Tape as we start off the show. As I said, up 10 points at 2065 on the S&P cash. And as always, we meet at this time.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
Every market day. And what else do we have going on? Pretty tepid day for fun buying. It is not uncommon to start seeing real volume, though, come in. Probably one of the most bearish things would be for us to hang up here and continue to have no volume and have maybe 5 or 10 points moving up on average over the next couple of days. We will see what happens. I will react. I will not predict. I don't like the volume whatsoever since Monday, as we chronicled that day and Tuesday. The lightest option volume in many years, which tells you a great deal about what people think. Some fairly heavy shorting going into fun buying, which is always a tough thing to do. If I can get away with it, I will avoid it. And, of course, always, especially if you're in ballistic parabolic stocks, a time to take notice that it is incredibly risky behavior to be jumping in at high levels with no volume. Risk is like playing Russian roulette. You know, sometimes you have 100 chambers in the revolver. Sometimes you only have 5 or 6. You don't want to be playing that deer hunter at all. There's always risk. There is never no risk. But if there's any better way to gauge the risk, it is with a volume. Light volume ends up typically having muted moves. If I'm playing a $10 stock for $1 move, the risk reward for me, if I knew that that was going to happen 75% of the time, I still would not take it. The reason why is that one time that does not pay out is the time that you lose half your money. It does damage to your pocketbook and to your soul. I am eating around the edges of the sandwich that we've gotten this week with options. I did add a position today. We'll see how that plays out. So far, so good from this morning, and we will continue what I think will be a fairly decent, predictable gravy train on that. But I can't say that I'm going mad dog wild adding positions. Maybe some more things will turn up today. And we looked at many of them since Monday, a lot of Gartley patterns on Monday, more patterns on Tuesday, and Wednesday will bring us yet even more patterns. We'll see how some of these stocks are reacting as they break new highs. And other than that, time to get this party started.
And it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
On this day, it should be 1867. I don't know why I put 1967 on there. We will correct that now. Let no date go uncorrected. 1867, U.S. Secretary William Seward signs a treaty with Russia for the purchase of Alaska for $7 million. Despite the bargain price of roughly 2 cents an acre, Alaskan purchase was ridiculed in Congress and in the press as Seward's folly. Seward's icebox and President Andrew Johnson's polar bear garden. And of course, what a great deal that was. And what a deal with Russia. And what else can you say about it? A lot of people are naysayers, only to be pretty much ridiculed by history, which is probably the better judge. As always say, there's buy land, they're not making any more of it. Eventually it will go up if it's not a complete desert, which Alaska is not. A lot of it probably uninhabitable, but who knows? Maybe global warming will make Alaska the best purchase of land ever in the history of man. Could be. I don't believe so. Could be. Other things of interest as we get into the snooze. As always, when snooze breaks, I'm here to fix it. But kind of interesting, just funny. CNBC on yesterday offered tips on how to create a secure password. They're big into the Apple security. It is an easy way to fill 8 hours of programming or 9 hours of programming during the day when things are kind of quiet. They put a form on their website that tested submitted passwords. And while kind of well-intended, people checked very quickly the code behind the website and found out that every password was being recorded and put on a spreadsheet for Google Docs. CNBC, once alerted, quickly withdrew the article. But if you know anything about spy novels, there is a practice in tradecraft, which is what they call how you are a spy and the things that you do around it, called a honeypot. And this is one of the easiest way to drag people in. And of course, it was not even encrypted on the website, so anybody that wanted to could do a man-in-the-middle attack, which is fairly easy to do, and grab people's passwords, trace their IP address, and go figure out how to go hack things. Thank God it did not run very long. But everybody's always trying to be a help, but very few people actually know how to be helpful in the world. CNBC, little egg on their faces today. Sony is launching its 4K streaming music service. I continue to think what's going to happen with Best Buy. Are they going to be able to sell a lot of these 4K televisions? And there still is not a lot of discussion about how these folks are going to figure out how to actually deliver this stuff across the internet. Most people have problems with HD right now. On April 4th, it will give Sony's 4K users much needed content. But the only thing you can do is buy a movie. The only difference is you will not have the DVD. You're still going to pay $30. And Ultra will only offer some titles for sale. No transactional video on demand rentals for 4K video. Still looks to me like a ways off before we're going to get into any of this. As we go to the break, you can always give me a call at 877 877. I can't even think today.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Technomental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Technomental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Technomental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
That's 877-927-6648. And you can call me, email me at path@tfnn.com, and, of course, post messages in the end. There's a discussion about the Masters tournament being broadcast in 4K this year over direct satellite. And that is the issue. Hopefully it's not misting or even a light rain, because I don't think direct TV would allow, the technology behind that would be problematic at best. Again, you're normally using a much higher bit rate when you quadruple the amount of pixels between HD and 4K. And again, when you go to 8K, remember all these things are logarithmic. It's not twice the data. It's basically 4 times the amount of data. There is some new compression techniques that can make that much better. It is very unclear whether or not any of these people are using those compression techniques. If you have to buy a new box from DirecTV to actually see it, my guess is that you have to have one that's probably fairly recent to do that. But if you're buying a 4K or an 8K TV, maybe you've already spent that money to get that set up. But I think probably the best launch is going to be the Olympics, which is supposed to be in 4K. But again, I'm not exactly sure how they're going to be able to do that, how stable it will be with a DirecTV. And certainly internet connections probably not going to be fast enough, even if you have a business class version of the internet. It will be problematic to keep that 4K up. A lot of times what they'll do is say that it's 4K and then compress the living daylights out of it so it doesn't look really any better than the HD version of it, which is also a problem. 4K probably best used now with a DVD player that plays 4K DVDs. What else is going on out here? Microsoft at its developer conference, Build at 26, is starting to talk about all the stuff they will be doing for developers and that will come out of Microsoft for the next year. This is the launch of theirs. What they did say we saw about a week or two ago that they said that there was some 200 million active computers that Windows 10 had been installed on. What we found out today is that there's a mass adoption and a lot of people moving now very quickly to Windows 10. They now have 270 million active computers worldwide. My guess is that you're going to start seeing a lot of the features that will have the horse, what do they call it, the horse where all the guys hid inside of it. Somebody in the den could probably say. Trojan horse. That's what it is. Trojan horse to deliver all kinds of services like music and movies and a lot of other stuff. It's going to be much more like the Apple Store, where they're going to make a great deal of things available on the Microsoft platforms. And that's really just getting started probably this summer. Look for this loss leader, which has done fairly good for them so far, to actually start seeing results, I would imagine, by September. Boeing will terminate about 4,000 jobs in its commercial airplanes divisions. Started off pretty high, kind of came down a little bit. This was after the bell last night, but what do we have now? It's a 128.78, way off its high of 132.73, and a little off its low of 128, but does not seem to be that exciting. We'll look at a chart at it later. The IBB also tried to rally, got up to 262, back down to 256. If we're going to get a rally, I suspect that we're going to see the IBB actually come along. Just this kind of extremely light rally on volume is most troubling, especially during a fund buying season where we should see a lot. Now, I've been through these funds bearing where there's been no volume for 2 days and you get it all on Friday. So again, I am keeping my powder dry until I know. But if we go through Friday and we continue to see this kind of incredibly miserably light volume, right now just 2.3 billion shares on the New York Consolidated Tape, and small movements up 8 points while we were up significantly higher, almost 10 points higher on the S&P. I will say that I will continue to be a nervous Nelly about going along these markets. This is a good indication of the surprises being to the downside at highs, with a volume being extremely tepid. We'll talk more about that as we get into the charts today. In fact, we've got a few out here. Let's go through very quickly out here the movers of the day, and then we'll get into charts in the second half of the day. A lot of stocks moving. If I can get my list up here of movers and shakers. And what do we have? On the downside, Variant Systems is off 10%, VRNT. Opaco Health, OPK, is off 8.5%. Form Factor off 8%. Spark Energy off 6.5%. DeVry Education Group off 6%. Advanced Drainage Systems off 4%. Landstar Systems off 2.5%. Landec off 2.5%. Paycheck off 2%. Allscripts on the plus side up 2%. PBR Street Yang. Do you read Almighty? I'd love to hear the first person that can tell me where that reference is from. PBR, which is a Petrobras, up 3%. Carnival Cruise Line up 3.5%. Restoration Hardware, kind of all over the map today. Was up after the bell last night, was down this morning. Now it's up 5% at almost $41. Arcadia Pharmaceuticals, ACAD, $26.25. And Lululemon Athletics up 11 cents. This thing was massively short. Anything of probably Armageddon and zombies running the earth looked like maybe they were going to run a few people out here with Lululemon. As we get into charts, we'll take a quick look at them. Some of them kind of interesting. Again, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648. Email me at path@tfnn.com. We got a few emails, so we'll look for this. $1 billion in costs. Got a few emails here, and we will look at those. Oh, got just a minute left here. Wanted to look at advanced auto parts. This thing had been kind of creeping up here. Look at it a little closer. We're at least back to this ledge that kind of made the downside. This goes back to November 15th, 14th, 13th. It went on to the 1st of December, went all the way down to 131.59 to make a low. Did it with higher volume. I've always looked at this somewhat suspectful, but very tough. Anyway, I would like this thing to get to about 175 and at least touch back into this gap and try to at least fill part of this gap on continued light volume before it turns around. But it continues to go higher, and volume rather tepid. 663,000 shares yesterday. Doesn't look like we're going to make that today, but we will wait for the close. Give me a ring. We'll be back in a minute.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're back. Anyway, we were looking at advanced auto parts for the bounce. Had a few emails out here. I think I got them all handled during the break. Is there anything out here? Yeah. Just another one about Boeing cutting up to 8,000 jobs at its commercial airplane division, according to two people familiar with the matter. A move that would slash $1 billion in costs to help it battle against European rival Airbus. I don't know if it acknowledged today that it is doing at least 4,000. Maybe that's why he sent me the article. But lots of job cuts. What else can you say about it than that? Other stocks of interest out here that I'm watching, wanted to see BR Baird. BCR is the ticker symbol on that one. No one's come up and told me what the reference PBR Street Gang Almighty is from. Still surprised no one has caught that very quickly. PBR Street Gang, PBR Street Gang Almighty. Someone will think of it. Milwaukee, Wisconsin? Nope. I will give you a hint. It's from a movie. August 6th, CBR hit 202.47, almost a million shares. And, yesterday we got into it about 408,000 shares today. Lighter volume again today. We have pierced it. So you do want this thing to close back into this trading range to get a confirmation on that August 6th high from last year. But you had a ton of juice coming up here. Just looks to me as if you get up to these highs again and all the volume tends to just fall out. To other stocks out here, Brandywine Realty Trust Investments. And what is that? $14.02 is the last major high in this one on January 6th. 3.1 million shares yesterday. We got into it with 1.5 million shares. This is where I really starting to see some real problematic moves. Now, this one didn't have a lot of juice off the bottom. I'm not shorting a $14 stock. But this one is giving just about every warning signal in the world that it's run out of juice to the upside, with half the volume, of course, yesterday, and we'll see what the volume comes in by the end of the day today. But a handful of these stocks are really what I'm starting to focus in on how many of these stocks actually do start seeing some kind of a volume come in before the end of the day. Cadence Design System, CDNS, is the October 27th high, $23.30. It spiked that with 10 million shares. Yesterday, we got into it with 3 million shares. Today, went above it, kind of back into that trading range. Look for a big pullback in this one fairly quickly. As I've gone into in depth, we've had a lot of these stocks that have been on a absolute tear above the 9-day moving average, and at that level, you kind of want to look for parabolic moves to have a pretty much sudden and significant reaction for a pullback. Cinemark's Holdings, did it get up there? No, it hasn't. I thought maybe it would get up to this $37.63 high today. That's the November 11th high, but it is not. What else do we have out here? Carnival PLC. Let's try. This is just up to its gap today. That gap came down on the 15th of January with 500,000 shares, very light volume as it comes into that, very light volume as it comes back up. That's a possible. And just make sure what these folks do. Is this a shoe carnival deal? Leisure Travel and Cruise Company. Is this the same one? Why is it CCL and CUK? Princess American Con, also Holland American Princess Tours. Very light volume. These things have a very a big tendency to go flat in the summertime at trading. A big gap up. Maybe that's on the CCL move. Is that looks like the same? I wonder what the deal is with that. I'll have to do a little bit more investigation to figure out why there are two out here. This is the same kind of thing. Fairly big move down back on the 19th of January. Had 10.7 million shares. You got about 6.3 million shares so far in Carnival. into that gap from the 15th of January. Other stocks of interest is Delphi, making a fairly decent retrace. Energy's pretty good. It just looked to me like you were getting into some of these heavy volume bar down days back from the 13th. You basically had about 4 days before this thing really started seeing the volume come in, about 5 million shares on the downside from the 13th of January. I don't know what else you could say about it. You're back up to these levels. You got two gaps that could get taken out up to about $82 or 81.90 or something. And I'm looking at those, but volume was about 4 million shares in the first gap and about 4.6 millions on the second gap. The juice you have now looks like it's going to be tough. GE has been one of the weakest stocks at these highs. It had done next to nothing for volume comparatively to the previous high. Yesterday, it did 38.5 million shares compared to the 73 million share high of December 31st. I don't know what else you can say about it other than that. Energy on the way down was fairly brisk from that December 31st high to the January 20th low. From the February 11th low up to this high, the energy's been off by about 45%. We've been watching Pro to see whether or not this thing is going to make some kind of Lazarus bottom up on very light volume today. I still think that $9.01 low from February 4th is still out there to be had. HRC, which is Hillrom Holdings, is back up into its previous high, just a few 25 cents lower. That's the February 1st high of $50.62, 900,000 shares. We might make that today, but we have not pierced it. You want to be watching that one closely for a sign that the market has got some gas left in the tank. On a longer-term basis, we're starting to see Healthcare Trust of America go into its March 20th, 2015 high. So, a year ago, over a year ago. This thing hit 29.14 with 1.9 million shares. We want to look at the volume yesterday, which was 700,000 shares, and fairly light and variable yet today. KLAC, one of the stalwarts of the semiconductor thing was on this gap. We're going to break here. We'll be back.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
If you're looking to discover a new financial resource and diversify your financial portfolio, consider the new Market Safe Commodity Solution CD from Everbank. This 5-year U.S. dollar-denominated CD gives you exposure to 8 equally weighted commodities, including WTI crude oil, gold, silver, copper, nickel, soybeans, corn, and sugar, in one powerful CD. With annual pricing caps of 70% per component, you could earn up to 70% upside payment at maturity if the commodities increase in value across annual pricing dates. And should the opposite occur, your principal is 100% protected. Keep in mind, returns are based on CD performance. There is no annual percentage yield or periodic rate of interest on this indexed CD. Don't miss out. Take advantage of this financial resource designed to grow with the times. The April 14th funding deadline is quickly approaching, so hurry over to everbank.com/TFNN for the CD's term sheet and other important product details and disclosures. Once again, that's everbank.com/TFNN. This advertisement is sponsored content. Everbank is a member FDIC.
TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile-based scanner in the industry. Powered by the acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
And we're back. Okay. A lot of guesses in the email about what the reference is to, but it's from Apocalypse Now. PBR Street Gang, PBR Street Man, come in almighty. It's when he calls in the bomb strike to wipe out the village when he goes up all the way up the river. Never get off the boat. Never get off the boat. It's playing on Netflix now. It's one of those movies that you can watch 100 times. It still always has something interesting that you've never seen. But I always remember that call sign for some reason. PBR Street Gang, PBR Street Gang. Come in almighty. Anyway, I don't know why it's going through my head. It's one of those things that you every time I see that ticker symbol, it reminds me of something. Mad Cats. That's a penny stock. We'll forget about that. NetSuite, one that came down on some massive volume and huge. Yeah, it reminds me of PBR, Pabst Blue Ribbon too. On the 5th, this thing came down with some monster volume, 2.7 million shares. On the 8th, it came down with 1.7 million shares. We looked a couple of days ago at 500,000 shares. Yesterday at 300,000 shares. Who knows what today's going to be, but going to be very tough to get into any of that kind of huge volume. You've had your original move off the bottom, and that's been a great deal of that. Did I get... There we go. Got an email from Dan in Clearwater. He says, can you look at this for a potential short right here, DVA? Take a look at it. DVA. Okay. Up on a fairly decent 50% looking retracement. We will take a look at this on the bigger scale. And that is 50% retracement would have been $73.26. So we've just gone over its 50% retracement. Energy is kind of okay up off the bottom. What would you like to get as confirmation this thing has failed? Take a little bit more about it. Yeah, any close, any weakness at all if this thing quits going up? DaVita Healthcare Partners looks like you'd probably, if you just got a 50% retracement of the bounce, would take you to 67.37. You'd like to see some kind of real sign of strength off this bottom. And, you know, you've got a couple of days out here that are big. The last 4, 5, 7 days out here are pitiful, though. So I would say the only thing that has me not pulling a trigger on a trade like this would be that we have fun buying, and they can just hold it up for a couple of days. We're going to go to David, my namesake, from Panama City.
We're
How you
brothers,
doing today,
man.
David?
Didn't even know it, but we're brothers.
Yep.
Hey,
My other brother, David.
I missed the earlier part of the show. Just a quick technical question about Netflix, if you could.
Mm-hmm.
I've got 100 calls expiring Friday, and I'm just curious to see if you think there's enough fuel in the tank for it to get into the bottom of that candle on January 19th. The low is 105.55, and there's like a mini gap where it turned down that day.
On the 19th?
Yeah, of January.
That's not really much of a candle. Will you think more about the 13th, maybe? Or are you just looking at that big volume day at 53 million shares?
I'm actually not at my chart right now, but I was.
Okay. My guess is maybe you're talking about the 20th, because that had a huge spike down. We're kind of in the very bottom of that candle. That 53
it's
million
the day
shares.
Previous to that. The day previous to that little like spinning top, whatever.
I wouldn't look at that light volume candle. I'd look at the big reversal off the lows of that day on the 20th is what I'd look at. That had 53 million shares. You're getting up to that candle. What calls do you have? What strike?
100.
Where'd you buy them at?
It was like 99.
Okay. So you're in the money?
Yeah.
You know, I was going to do the IBB, and the volume yesterday was just so pitiful. I'm not saying go short any of these things. I'm just saying it is so horrifically bad in the reversals in a lot of this stuff, just way off the highs. I haven't looked at what we've done in the last 15 minutes or anything. We're up 10 points on the S&P cash, 2.5 billion shares. There is just not a lot of juice out here. As I said, I'm keeping my powder dry. If we continue to see all this, I would think that I'd be looking at a lot of shorts come Thursday or Friday. So I'm just kind of biding my time. I don't think that they're going to let this market down. Whatever fund buying is going to be here, they're going to pay top dollar. I just don't know if you're going to gain anything. When do these expire?
Friday.
Man,
Now,
what's the
money? I just don't want to,
what's the decay? What's the decay going to be tomorrow? Have you figured it out?
No, not yet. Majority of what I do when I do weeklies, I close out Thursday, unless things pull against me like Wednesday. Which
I mean you're kind of dead on this trade if you're in the money. Probably anything after 2:00 tomorrow.
Yeah.
So just from them pulling the rest of the premium out of it, I'd wait till the end of the day. If you don't see any, this is the first day. This is kind of the first day of real fun buying. You might get a little bit more of it. If you get a little bit of buying into the end of the day, you could get some more buying into tomorrow. But I wouldn't hold this past 2:00 tomorrow.
Yeah.
I would be out by then. I don't know if there's a whole lot of upside or downside out here. Just looks to me like they're holding this market up. And 2.5 billion shares compared to what we've been doing just doesn't do a whole lot to me to think that there's, $2, $3, $4 more bucks in this to the upside.
Yeah, and the average volume on Netflix is about 19 million. We're at 12.3 right
Yeah, I mean, to me, for these trades to work out, I want to know that everybody's been shorting the living daylights out of it in the last couple of days.
Yeah.
And let me see. You got a second?
Yep.
Okay. Let me go to my tool. Stock Panamaze. Just real quick. Let's see. I don't think that in FLX. Let's see if anybody's been shorting the living daylights out of this thing. I mean, on the 24th, you had some big shorting. The last 2 days, it's been kind of light. Normally, this thing averages around 20% of the shares each day are short sales. Doesn't mean they held them overnight. But, you had basically the 24th where you had a lot of shorting. Last 2 days has been very light. So when you talk about, coming into a weekend, you're in an uptrend. What you like to see is a lot of people that are short, just backing out and get some natural buying. I don't see a whole lot in this. I mean, we've had days where 30%, 32%. If you just go back to the 10th of March, 32% of the people of the shares were shorted. I don't know. I'd be out pretty quick.
I appreciate it.
Thanks for the phone call. We'll be back in a minute.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And if you're new to the show, I've got a tool that I use a lot, which is gives me the actual short volume for each trading day. And, when I'm looking at them, if I'm looking for a short squeeze, a lot of times I want to find a lot of people that are literally all shorting at the bottoms. And in Netflix, you had 32% of every share on the 10th that was short, or someone was shorting. So if you go back and look at something like that, you'll see that a lot of times it's one of these things where everybody shorts. If everybody's piling on, probably a good sign that you may get a short squeeze. Not a lot of juice in this. We don't talk about it a lot, but business models are kind of tough things to be locked to. And why there's an incumbent position for Netflix I just don't understand how you can really keep other people out. Amazon, of course, has its Amazon Prime and almost has as many hours as Netflix watched each week. But a lot of people don't talk about Amazon as the big player in that field. One of the problems I always see is Amazon's been able to get into businesses and just write them off for 5 years. And that may be, I don't know if I have both, have Amazon Prime and Netflix. I just always hate a business that anybody can get into. And if you got the cash to buy a server farm and to lease some content from content providers that someone is willing to pay for, I don't see where it's a big problem signing up. I don't think people want 40 of them, but would they want 5? Yeah, I could see it. And a lot of Netflix stuff, the original programming is interesting. I'm finding it harder and harder each month. I'd say 90% of their movies are dogs that no one would want to touch at a 5 stars. A great deal of them, probably over half of them, are under a 3-star rating and not worth watching. I think they get them just to say that they've got them. Still problematic, but 106.61. Could you get that 50% retraced by Friday? I don't know. And that's a tough call. I just don't see the juice in the markets. Maybe we get it tomorrow. I wouldn't be shorting it. But again, if you've got options for Friday, I just don't see, maybe get some news, maybe get some juice in this market. It just looks incredibly lackluster to me. Let's look at Restoration Hardware. What is this? Robert Half International. This one I've been waiting for a while to get and see how it acts as it gets back into its gaps down of the 6th of January and also the, the 4th of January. You had a couple of gaps down. You also have one much bigger one at 50. I don't know if it can make it back up there. That's when this thing really, the wheels fell off the wagon on the 9th of December with almost 2 million shares. Very light volume yesterday, 1.2 million shares. So a little bit more juice out of there. Again, a very light and variable day. We'll wait to see what happens at the close and see whether we get a lot of cash moving into this market. But man, the volume is, as we talked about a couple of weeks ago with me tapping on the gas gauge, very, very slow, 2.59 billion shares. This doesn't look to me like there's a lot of cash coming into these markets. Now, you can get it tomorrow. I'm not saying that you can't. It's just I don't see the evidence yet that we've got some kind of spike going to 2,100 by Friday or anything close to that. Well, another day, another excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour in the can. Sell when you can, not when you have to. We'll see you tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
You're watching Tiger TV.